Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage, perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Hamida, Aliar, Fatim, Hero. Wow, so many of you guys. Farah, Shaban also here. So good to see you all. Fantastic Friday. So, all ready for the weekend? Well, some of you are like, weekend again. Some people said, hey, finally weekend. So, it depends on individuals. There is no right or wrong. Always remember, I think I did mention this before, it's time to rejuvenate your body, time to let go. Today we're going to talk about winning attitude, and one of the ways in which to build a winning attitude is really to run around in the playground not wearing shoes. I'm good, Hyrule. Hey, yeah, Shawan said, you need to rest. Yeah, one of the ways, seriously, if you want to rest, try walking in your garden without wearing shoes. People are like, gila ka? There's no such thing nowadays. But let's put it this way. It actually works. Holistic healing people, they believe that kita punya tapak the soles of your feet, okay? You see, I tried to speak Bahasa, but is it tapak kaki? Basically has a lot of chi points, okay, where in which that when you walk out into the grass, the natural chis from the grass will be absorbed into our body, and it would actually help us refresh our bodies. Remember those days when we used to run around the playground not wearing shoes? The biggest problem is that when our parents start telling us, hey, you better wear your shoes, if not you get cut, if not you can. So when was the last time you took off your shoes and walk outside? And now sometimes, sometimes you put the stones and then you're supposed to walk on it. How many times kita rasa geli because we are so used to wearing shoes, right? So that is what it is. Yay, Amira, thank you. Yes, tapak kaki, so I got it correct, right? So, yeah, so you see, attitude is the only thing that determines our altitude. All right, so it's I have always used that term, and I've learned it for a long time. What does it mean? I'll just give you a story. What do I mean by attitude determines the altitude? Well, there was a story of a young boy. He went to a fun fair. Fun fair, pesta, and then he saw this uncle selling the helium balloons, right? So what happens is, whenever they have got no business, the uncle basically let go of the helium balloon and then it flies up in the sky. And then the kids will see, hey, balloon, and they will start running to where the balloon originated, and the sales goes up. So this boy was standing there for a long time, and he saw blue balloon going up, green balloon going up, yellow balloon going up, red balloon going up, and ultimately he went there and he pulled onto the uncle's shirt. He said, Uncle, if it's a black balloon, do you think it's going to fly? And the uncle just turned around and looked at him and said, young man, it's not the color of the balloon. It's what that is inside that is most important. So basically what we want to do here today is to talk about how do we manage our internal so therefore we can fly. Because ultimately it's the helium within the balloon that makes it fly, and ultimately it's who we are deep inside that will make us fly. That is why I always go back to our very, very first day, where I first started, where I say, who are you? It's always most important. But let's also face it. The reality of life is that even motivational speakers like me always sometimes get challenged. In this world, there's never say no problems. We would actually get demotivated. But now how do we recharge? That's why one of us said, Safwan said you need to rest. Yes, resting may not equal recharge. But what we want to do is to be able to recharge and rejuvenate our bodies. And one of the ways in which that is, of course, barefoot and walk out into the garden. That will be one option. But mainly it's about for us to reflect. And I think one of the main things that we want to reflect is look at the challenges that we have actually faced throughout the week. Is the challenges small or are the challenges big? So it's a reflection, because if you have heard of the story of David and the Goliath, all right, and I think my Muslim friends would know the name of Daud, all right, where he fought the giant. You see, everyone looked at the giant as a giant. But if you were to look at a giant, everyone said they were scared of the giant, but there's only one young boy by the name of David that looked at the giant and said, hey, that's easy to fight. People say, hey, the giant's so big, yeah. But the thing is, David killed the giant by throwing a stone. What David said was, because he's so big, it's so easy to hit. It's very, very hard to miss. So basically, is that if you have a different perspective of stuff and shifting our focus, which is what we did on day 2 when I first started, you will then realize that things becomes much easier. So that's one thing that we can really look at. All right, so changing our focus, and always do this. Have a habit of doing things now. That means, procrastination. Procrastination is the attitude of us saying, hey, I can do this later, I'll do it later. I really hate that when it happens. I mean, although I still do it once in a while, like for example, going out to buy groceries, doing my paperwork. I don't like paperwork. Tax filing, that's another one that I really don't like to do. So, but the thing here is this, as our responsibility that we need to do, but yet we don't do. What happens? We say life becomes like a leaky tap. Leaky tap, that means our tap that's dripping in water, we never close it. It's like this, it drop. Hey, Azizul. All right, so it leak. It's like draining our battery. So ultimately, we feel as if whenever we want to do something, what's the feeling? Is like you don't feel comforted. You feel as if you have not done something. Something's missing in your life, and it troubles your heart. Now, when things are troubled, there's another term that I used to like to say is hurting people hurt others. Maksud dia, let's say if I feel guilty of not doing the thing, I feel guilt unconsciously. When you feel guilt unconsciously, are you at peace with your body? The answer is no. If you're not at peace with your body, will you then become grumpy? Answer is yes. It's when we can't build the winning attitude. What else? All right, of course, we need to always continuously learn. Learning would always help us to move forward, and we know that we are ahead of things. But I think the one thing that I always feel that it's always best for me is building your positive self-esteem. Now, what is this positive self-esteem that we're referring to? Positive self-esteem is when we give or do something, so somebody else not expecting any returns. You know how good it is when you can actually contribute to other people's life? It makes us feel as if we have actually done. See, I think a lot of people actually will agree with me that it's better to give than to receive. Am I right to say that? So the thing is, life is about giving unto people and not receiving. And when you give more and more, you feel better about yourself, right? So it's about continuously sowing seeds into people's life. And come to think about it again, like for me, the people that I work with, the partners that I work with, the clients that I work with, it all started by me giving up sowing seeds when I first met them. Because when you sow seeds into people's life, you become a referral to them. Number one, you deposit into their positive piggy bank. All right. So when you deposit yourself in their positive piggy bank, basically, whenever they think about you, they feel good. That's something. And at the same time, as we give, we always feel better about ourselves as well. The other thing that, of course, one way of building building good positive attitude or the winning attitude, it's about staying away from negative influence. All right, that one is the most important one. No matter how positive you can be, if you're around of people who are very, very toxic, it's going to be very hard for us to stay positive. All right, and nowadays, let's put it this way: social media programs our brains so badly, right? Like nowadays, everyone's so paranoid whenever they go into a supermarket. Everyone making sure that they will scan it because there's a signboard there I saw yesterday. Scan. If not, you'll be fined $10,000. I mean, they do. I'm not sure if they're doing it as a joke, but then ultimately, everywhere I go, people are joking about the 10,000 ringgit fine. It kind of makes me, oh, okay, where's my mask? You know, in the morning when I send my son to school, I say, hey, where's your mask? You know they're gonna fine you $10,000. I mean, it's. See, what I'm saying is that unconsciously they have already programmed my brains, and ultimately it let fear come into my heart. You see, in this world, only negative news sells. Correct? It's like I just got a circulation of a news that a nurse passed away after 5 days of taking the COVID vaccine. I know it is bad to hear. It's good for us to know, but ultimately we have not seen those thousands and thousands of people who got the vaccine positively. So what I'm saying is, one negativity, we blow it out of proportion, and then we forget about all the rest of people who are now much safer because they had the vaccine. Launch new project as open home tuition for a community with a fee is $10. Yeah. Brilliant, Hamida. It's so good, right? I mean, I love it because ultimately your 10 ringgit is just to cover the cost of your electricity and your manpower and everything. And it's so good because we are building the next generation. I'm very well touched with that because it really helps the next generation. So building the positive attitude, it's not about just about saying somebody's attitude is not good or whatever it is. It's about building ourselves, because let's put it this way: if we're going to put ourselves with positive stuff, we will create an aura within us. And in life and doing business, it's about having that little edge. Now, what I mean by the little edge, there is this guy called Shiv Kara. He's one of the world-renowned gurus, and one of the examples that he gave, he said, in a race horse, you know, the horse racing. Now, if you look at two horses and they're coming very near each other as they're going through the line, he said the winner sometimes just need the nose. Now, what does it mean? Is that when you're running through the line, the two horses or the race car, all you have to do is maybe just 1 inch extra or faster than your competitor, you already won. and you know the difference between the first prize and the second prize, even in F1 races, it's huge amount. So what we're saying is that if we want to build that competitive edge in our life, in our business, it's about being able to be that little thing better than our competitors. And one way that we can build that little edge better than our competitors are normally what we keep inside us. Because if we keep yourself more positive, it's like when you meet a person, people say, I just do not know why I favor this person more, because I just feel more comfortable with that person. It's because of all the positive energy that you actually sow in the other person's life. So remember, my friends, always take time to rejuvenate yourself. Please, it's for Friday. Go back tomorrow, go down to the park, sweat it out, get rid of the toxins in our body. All right, that's the physical part of it. Second thing is to get rid of the toxins in our brains. Be aware as to how we are, what information has been going through our lives, what has been our focus. Always look at the mountain. If the mountain is so big, the problem is so big, but how do you shrink the mountain? All right. And ultimately, it's about spend your time maybe reading something positive and think of how now you can contribute more into other people's life. If you're going to do that, trust me, by Monday morning when you wake up and you shift your focus, always start a day ahead. Oh yeah, before I forget, next week we will not be having any live session because I am being engaged somewhere else that I could not come. So we will continue back the following week. But don't worry, we'll send out the notifications. And till then, till we see you again, yes, I'll keep sharing the positive vibes as long as you still are here with me. All right, so have an enjoyable week. Rest well, guys. Till we meet again the following week. Right, bye guys.
Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage perkawinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.